There were 3 bulls who lived in a forest. One was white, one was brown, and one was black. They were brothers, and they lived together in harmony. And in this forest, there also lived a tiger that had his eye on the bulls. But every time he attempted to attack one of them, the other 2 bulls would come and they would all drive the tiger away. So the tiger decided I need to improve his strategy. So one day when the black bull was away, the tiger approached the other 2 bulls and whispered that, you know, this black bull, he's black, he's dirty, he's evil. Why do you keep him with you? He's a disgrace to you both. Whereas you are beautiful, you are noble. And if the black bull is no longer here, you will have all this land to yourselves. And he takes away your food and he doesn't add any value to you. The 2 bulls listened to the tiger's speech and said, after all, he's our brother. What can we do? You don't need to do anything, said the tiger. I will do what needs to be done. Just turn your back and don't come to his help when he calls out to you. And they agreed. The next day, they heard the black bull calling desperately out for help. They listened to him in his anguish. Yet they ignored him and continued to graze. And gradually, the cries for help faded away, and the 2 brothers avoided eye contact. And the luscious green grass wiped away memories, and after a short while, it was as if the black bull never even existed. Then one day, the tiger came to the white bull when he was all alone, and he said, are you happy with the advice that I gave you? Did I not advise you well? Here is some more advice to you. You are the real king of the forest. You are white, you're clean, you're beautiful, you're pure, you're wise and holy. You deserve to live in splendor like a king. Why do you need this brown bull? He is an embarrassment to you. And the white bull asked that, well, what should I do? Nothing at all, said the tiger. Just turn your back and ignore his screams, and I will take care of the rest. The next day, the white bull heard the dying screams of the brown bull, and he closed his ears and went back to his grazing. And then the white bull lived by himself happily for a few days, grazing where he wanted, drinking from the clean streams in the forest. And then one morning, the tiger came again. However, from the look in the tiger's eyes, the white bull knew that this visit was different, and suddenly the white bull's whole life flashed before his eyes. And he remembered the time when the 3 brothers would stand together shoulder to shoulder. And he remembered every incident that happened after then. And as the tiger sat before him, not in any hurry, knowing that the result was predetermined, the white bull said to the tiger, I do not die today. Rather, I died the day the black bull died. One of the important lessons we learn from this story relates to the harm and evils of racism, a poison that has plagued humanity for centuries. Racism is that belief that you believe that one group of people believe they're better than another based on the color of their skin or the land where they were born. It's the disease of the heart that leads to hatred, division, and injustice. Islam condemns all forms of racism and teaches us that every human being is equal in the sight of Allah, except for the level of their taqwa, piety, and righteousness. To think that you're better than someone else is jahiliyyah and ignorance. Abu Dhar, may Allah be pleased with him, he once got into an argument with another companion. And in a state of anger, he said to him, "You son of a black woman." When the Prophet of Allah heard what Abu Dhar had said, he said, "Abu Dhar, you are someone who still has some jahiliyyah left inside you." And Abu Dhar immediately regretted what he had said. I remember I received a phone call not so long ago from a sister, and she mentioned that a brother had come and asked for her hand in marriage. And he was a good guy. He was practicing, prayed his salah. He also had a good job, mashallah. But her father and her family had refused. Why? Just because he was black. And they said, if you marry him, we will disown you. The Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that if someone comes to you to propose marriage to your daughter and you're pleased with their religious commitment and their character, then marry your daughter to him. Because if you don't, then there will be fitna on the earth and widespread corruption. And don't we see that today? How many sisters do we know in their 30s, in their 40s who have never been married? Just because their family insists that the groom has to belong to their race or their ethnicity or has to be the same caste as them. And then when the girl hits 40s, that's when the parents say, "We don't mind who you marry now, just get married." Why didn't you say that in the last 20 years when you kept on rejecting proposal after proposal based on your ignorance and jahiliyyah? And those who follow a caste system must know that this is not from Islam, this is from Hinduism. Racism is an evil and a major sin in Islam. Who was the first racist? Shaitan. When Shaitan refused to bow down to Adam because he said, "I'm better than him." And those Muslims who have racism are following Shaitan. The Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "No one will enter into Jannah who has even an atom's weight of arrogance in their heart." A Sahabi stood up and said, "O Messenger of Allah, a person may like his clothes to look nice, his shoes to look nice." And the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Verily Allah loves beauty, and arrogance is to deny the truth when it comes to you and look down upon other people." A person could be praying salah, could be fasting, could be going on Hajj and Umrah, but if you have racism inside of you and you think you're better than someone else based on the color of your skin, this could prevent you from entering into Jannah. So we need to purify our hearts from any arrogance and looking down upon other people. Islam gives honor based on a person's taqwa, based on their knowledge, based on their piety. During the time of the Tabi'een, which is the generation after the Sahaba, the Imam in Mecca was known as the Grand Mufti of Mecca. His name was Ata ibn Abi Rabah. No one in the time of the Tabi'een was allowed to give fatwa in the Haram of Mecca except for Ata. Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah said, "I've met many great people in my life. I've never seen anyone greater than Ata ibn Abi Rabah." And Ata was black. He was a black man. And he was the Grand Mufti of Mecca in the time of the Tabi'een. So our race, our skin color, our wealth, our nationality does not make us superior over other Muslims. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was the ultimate role model in combating racism, over 1400 years ago, he declared in his final farewell sermon that no Arab is superior than a non-Arab. And no non-Arab is superior than an Arab. No white person is superior than a black person. Nor is any black person superior than a white person. A person's superiority is only on the basis of their piety to Allah. And we need to remember that Allah created all human beings from a single soul. Allah mentioned in the Quran, be mindful of your Lord who created you from a single soul. So we need to remember that there is no superiority of one race over another in Islam. And the diversity in humanity is a sign of Allah's greatness and wisdom, not a cause for division or discrimination. Dear brothers and sisters, racism not only harms individuals, but it also weakens us as an ummah. Look at the state of the Muslims today. Look what's happening in Palestine to our brothers and sisters. Look what's happening in Kashmir. Look what's happening in Burma and many other countries around the world. So we Muslims, we need to stand as one united body. And Islam gives clear guidance on how to eliminate this disease of racism. And we need to know that Allah has created us into different nations and tribes so that we may know one another, not hate one another. Our diversity in languages, cultures, and our appearance, this enriches humanity. And it's a mercy from Allah and a test. And it's a test for us to treat one another with respect and kindness. Allah calls the believers as brothers in Surah Al-Hujurat. So it's our duty as Muslims to stand against all forms of racism, whether it's in our hearts, whether our community or the wider society. Let's reflect on the example of Bilal. May Allah be pleased with him. And that's a powerful reminder how Islam stands against racism. Bilal, who was a former slave, an Ethiopian, was chosen by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to be the first mu'adhin in Islam. Look at this honor, subhanallah. And this further highlights that Islam honors people based on their piety. Qatada mentioned that once Sa'd ibn Abi Waqas and Salman al-Farsi, who was from Persia, they once got into a conflict with one another. And out of anger and frustration, Sa'ad said, "Tell me your lineage, O Salman." Salman, who was a non-Arab, he replied, "I don't have a Muslim father, but I am Salman, the son of Islam." When this news reached Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, he went to Sa'ad and said, "Sa'ad, tell me your lineage." Sa'ad then realized the mistake in resorting to lineage as a card in his discussion with Salman. And he said to Umar, "I plead to you by Allah, let me go, O Amir al-Mu'mineen." Umar insisted, "Sa'ad, tell me your lineage. Sa'ad, tell me your lineage." And then after Sa'ad mentioned his lineage, Umar bin Khattab said to him, "The Quraysh, they know that Khattab was the most honorable of people in the pre-Islamic days. But even then, I am Umar, the son of Islam. And I am the brother of Salman, the son of Islam." So we need to remember that we should never look down upon anyone because of their skin color. Never let your lineage, your nationality, your race, your caste, your color make you forget that we are all, in fact, the sons and daughters of Islam. And we should always stand united against all forms of oppression and never fall for the tricks of people who try to disunite us. Let us follow the example of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who would always stand for justice and treated every person with respect regardless of their background. O Allah, make us love one another and remove any hatred and arrogance from our hearts. Allah, guide us to be just and upright in all our dealings. Allah, purify our hearts, strengthen our brotherhood, and guide us to be amongst the righteous. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله.